Iran hits Europe. For the first time since tensions between Iran and the West spiraled into open confrontation, Tehran's reach appears to have struck European soil. Overnight, powerful explosions tore through the skies above RAF Akrotiri in Cyprus, a critical Royal Air Force base hosting around 2,000 British personnel and their families. British officials believe an Iranian drone hit the base just hours after Tehran launched 2 ballistic missiles toward the island. Those missiles fell harmlessly into the sea, but the message was unmistakable. Shortly before midnight, a security threat was declared. Moments later, detonations echoed across the Mediterranean airfield. Cypriot authorities confirmed limited damage. No casualties were reported, but thousands of service members and their families were ordered to shelter in place. They had been warned. Personnel were told to stay indoors, avoid windows, and take cover beneath solid furniture as Royal Air Force jets scrambled into the night sky to defend the base.
Over the last 2 days, Iran has launched sustained attacks across the region at countries who did not attack them. They've hit airports and hotels where British citizens are staying. This is clearly a dangerous situation. We have at least 200,000 British citizens in the region, residents, families on holiday, and those in transit. I ask all our people in the region to please register your presence and follow Foreign Office travel advice. I know this is a deeply worrying time, and we will continue to do all we can to support you. Our armed forces, who are located across the region, are also being put at risk by Iran's actions. Yesterday, Iran hit a military base in Bahrain, narrowly missing British personnel. The death of the supreme leader will not stop Iran from launching these strikes. Their approach is becoming even more reckless and more dangerous to civilians.
Iran had already fired 2 missiles toward Cyprus earlier on Sunday, according to Defense Secretary John Healey. Officials initially said they could not confirm whether British bases were the intended targets. Now the calculus appears to have changed.
The concern now, of course, is that this regime is lashing out. It's lashing out in an increasingly indiscriminate and widespread way. And people will be really concerned that it's not just military targets, but civilian airports like Kuwait, hotels in Dubai and Bahrain are being hit. And so that's why we've strengthened the UK defences in the region.
RAF Akrotiri is no ordinary installation. The base supports British forces stationed in Cyprus and serves as a forward operating hub for missions across the Middle East. Its strategic location makes it central to Britain's regional military posture. London insists it has not taken part in joint Israeli-US strikes on Iran, but British fighter jets did shoot down an Iranian drone heading toward Qatar just a day earlier. That interception may have placed Britain squarely in Tehran's crosshairs. The strike also intensifies pressure on Prime Minister Starmer, who has sought to distance the United Kingdom from direct involvement in attacks on Iran.
Our decision that the UK would not be involved with the strikes on Iran was deliberate, not least because we believe that the best way forward for the region and for the world is a negotiated settlement, one in which Iran agrees to give up any aspirations to develop a nuclear weapon. But Iran is striking British interests nonetheless, and putting British people at huge risk, along with our allies across the region. That is the situation we face today. Our partners in the Gulf have asked us to do more to defend them, and it is my duty to to protect British lives. We have British jets in the air as part of coordinated defensive operations, which have already successfully intercepted Iranian strikes. But the only way to stop the threat is to destroy the missiles at source, in their storage depots, or the launchers which are used to fire the missiles.
Now Britain faces a stark question: respond forcefully or risk further escalation? PM Starmer said UK has agreed to let the US use British bases for attacks on Iran's missiles and their launch sites.
The United States has requested permission to use British bases for that specific and limited defensive purpose. We have taken the decision to accept this request to prevent Iran firing missiles across the region, killing innocent civilians, putting British lives at risk, and hitting countries that have not been involved. The basis of our decision is the collective self-defence of long-standing friends and allies and protecting British lives. That is in accordance with international law, and we are publishing a summary of our legal advice. We are not joining these strikes, but we will continue with our defensive actions in the region. And we will also bring experts from Ukraine together with our own experts to help Gulf partners shoot down Iranian drones attacking them. I want to be very clear. We all remember the mistakes of Iraq, and we have learned those lessons. We were not involved in the initial strikes on Iran, and we will not join offensive action now. But Iran is pursuing a scorched earth strategy, so we are supporting the collective self-defense of our allies and our people in the region, because that is our duty to the British people. It is the best way to eliminate the urgent threat and prevent the situation spiralling further. This is the British government protecting British interests and British lives.
From missile launches into the Mediterranean, to drones over British sovereign territory, to warplanes scrambling in defense of European soil. For the first time in this expanding confrontation, Iran's retaliation appears to have crossed directly into European military infrastructure. The damage may be limited, the political consequences may not. This is no longer a distant Middle Eastern battlefield. This is a NATO power under fire, and the next move could determine whether this remains a contained exchange or escalates into something far larger.